Hi again, I'm Paul Diego Holzer with a short message for all you education advocates out here in Hartford and in the region. I read a story or a column by Thomas Friedman a few months back in the New York Times where he highlighted a small town of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, around 60,000 people. And what was interesting about this column was Thomas's take on collaboration and problem solving, and how basically there were a group of private sector leaders that were pretty tired with the lack of results in all of the different solutions that had been proposed, all the different initiatives around spurring economic development and reducing poverty in Lancaster, and how they just decided to come together and try to fix it, coordinating the resources that they could right around them. And what I found really interesting about this column was that there was a level of self-efficacy in this group of leaders that seems rare, right? This idea that first, the problem is fixable, that we can fix the problem, and that we can fix the problem right now. And that story kind of got me thinking about, how the new Achieve Hartford arrived where we have now with our own new model of collaboration, which we call distributed leadership, and with a focus on the private sector. And I'm thinking of all the different models that we looked at to arrive at our approach, and I wanted to highlight two for folks out there who are interested. Two models we looked at, and two beliefs that are kind of at the center of these models. The first was the Harwood Institute out of Maryland, which some folks here in Hartford may know because they came and did some consulting work in the Asylum Hill region a few years back through the United Way, where they were convening a bunch of different civic and corporate leaders to try and address some issues and put together an action plan. But what they're most known for, Harwood, is their public innovator labs, which happen in different parts of the country, different times. And they invite leaders from all over the country to bring their solutions, their problems, their local problems, to a table and receive training on how they can change their approach to those problems. Rich Harwood calls it turning outward, which is the idea of focusing less on the problems of your organization and more on how to best utilize and tap the resources right outside your door. And one of the things I find really interesting around the Harwood Institute is, and this idea of turning outward, is that it's about someone's disposition, right? It's about an individual's disposition and the need to turn outward. And what I took from the Harwood work, which we're still looking into and wanting to engage more in, is that the individual and their disposition to the problem is what matters, is what needs to be focused on first before you can go out and try to move institutions or change organizations. It kind of starts with the power of the individual. I thought that was really, really important belief to hold on to. And then, another model that we looked at was the Mobile Area Education Foundation, which isn't a foundation at all, located down in Mobile, Alabama. This group has done, incredible work around engaging the private sector. One of the things that they do is they've launched career academies in all of the high schools throughout Mobile County. And those are all kind of tied to where the jobs are in the county and in the state. But even more than that is, I see that their STEM initiative, their engineering initiative, the fact that they're like a clearinghouse for all volunteer opportunities in all of the schools at all grades. Even the Lumina Foundation tapped them as a talent hub designee because of their commitment to reach 75,000 post-secondary degrees by 2030. I think about the Education Commission that they run in partnership with the Board of Education there. The private sector is deep into anything and everything related to education. It's just in the water down there, and they've done that over 30 years. And while I think that, we're not going to just jump and get to Mobile by any means, the expectation of having the private sector around the table in everything that we do as it relates to education, I think is where we're trying to go, is what we want to see happen, whether it's philanthropic, corporate, nonprofit, or higher ed. We just want to see that level of commitment to engage in the private sector. And I think those two models and those two beliefs are really foundational to the new Achieve Hartford. And for more information, please visit theharwoodinstitute.org or maef.net. That's maef.net. Thanks.